The Basilian Fathers have had an enormous influence on my life. For over 60 years, as mentors, guides, colleagues, and friends, they have accompanied me on my journey.
Un saludo muy especial para los padres basilianos. Mi nombre es Rocío Caro, estoy desde el 97 con ellos, laborando con ustedes. Ha sido una experiencia muy bonita el caminar al lado de ustedes, porque para mí ha sido muy gratificante y ha sido como ese granito de mostaza que cayó en tierra árida, que nos ayuda a fortalecernos en la fe, en lo espiritual. Hay muchos jóvenes que gracias a todos ustedes viven fortalecidos y ilumbrados por ese gran trabajo que ustedes han hecho en esta comunidad. Es muy bonito y muy gratificante. Han salido jóvenes adelante. La experiencia ha sido muy linda. Yo vivo personalmente y a nombre de todos estos jóvenes que han pasado por el Taller San Basilio, muy agradecida con todos los basilianos.
I grew up in a small Texas town and now live in Houston. So from Mount Carmel Parish to St. Anne's, with Holy Trinity in between, the Basilian Fathers have always been there for my family and for me. Our priests accompany us on the most critical, the most important, the most difficult moments of our lives, as well as through common time. And when I think of what I have learned from the Basilian priests who have been my parish priests, here is what it comes down to. First, the importance of the Eucharist in our lives. And second, the need to reach conciliation with the people who are on the margins of society. When I think of the particular personality traits of the Basilian priests who have been my friends, two things come to mind. First, they are great friends. And second, they are great homilists.
Greetings, I'm Vilma Getting from Rochester, and I'm delighted to be here. It was 1981, and I had a son beginning his enriching education at Aquinas Institute. I never realized that the following year I would be a teacher in a science classroom at the same school. Thus began a wonderful relationship with the Basilian Fathers in this new phase of my life. To this day, I'm so very grateful for the many gifts that I have received from knowing and working with the Basilian priests. Such gifts as friendship, kindness, compassion, joy, and laughter, and many, many spiritual graces. I will share with you just a few memories to illustrate what I mean. There was the warm welcome from Father Renoletta when I joined the Aquinas faculty. And soon after, when I met Father Ettlinger, he would stop me in the hallway before classes began in order to tell me one of his jokes. And sometimes we would share a bit about our common Hungarian heritage. It was just a few years later that Father Meduzia invited me to become or consider becoming a Basilian lay associate, and therefore share in the Basilian way of life and prayer. This is still a very important part of my life. Then there was Father John Huber, singing and dancing and having fun with the Aquinas faculty at an Aquinas Spirit Week competition, which, by the way, we won. And one summer, after I had had an upsetting experience in my life, Father Kaufman called me from Strawberry Island and asked me to come and have some rest and respite on the island. Lastly, over the years, it was a gift partnering with the Basilian Fathers, teaching their beloved students, and today hearing so many alumni speak of the gifts, the great love, and their respect for the Basilian priests. I have to include the incomparable Basilian hospitality, the food, the camaraderie, and the laughter they shared with the faculty and staff at celebrations at 402 Augustine Street. As an end note, we lay members could never compare with the skills of the priests displayed in the bocce ball games out on their front lawn.
My journey with the Basilian Fathers began right here at the University of Windsor. Some of you may recognize the doors behind me as the entranceway to what used to be Assumption Campus Community. I came to Windsor to study theater in 1975. And in those days, they could ask you your religion when you applied. And I, of course, checked off Roman Catholic, even though I hadn't been to Mass in probably 2 years. So one day, Father Bob Sagan found me, told me about Assumption Campus Community. I was very polite, I think, and didn't go to Mass. But every time Bob ran into me on campus, he would stop and say hello and ask how I was doing. He never pressured me. He just wanted to find out how I was. And eventually, one day, I think in second year, I became so frustrated with myself and my desire to go back to the church that I just blurted out, "Would you like to come to my apartment for tea and talk?" Bob, of course, said yes. So we had tea and we talked for a long, long time. And at the end of our conversation, I decided that I was going to come back to the church. And I said to Father Bob, "So I guess I should come to confession." And he looked at me and said, "Didn't you just do that?" And that was the very beginning of a very long relationship with the Basilian Fathers. I went to Assumption Campus Community throughout my time as a student, and when I came back to Windsor to teach in the 80s, I rejoined. I became a lector. I was an acolyte. And then eventually, when the chapel was closed, I started going to Our Lady of Assumption Church. Now, I'm on my road to becoming a Basilian lay associate, and I'm a member of the parish council. It has been a glorious time. It keeps my spiritual life intact, and I've grown a great deal due to my association with Basilian Fathers. So,
Thank you, Basilian Fathers, and congratulations, Congregation of St. Basil, on your 200th anniversary.
I am grateful for this occasion, on the occasion of the 200th anniversary of the Congregation of St. Basil, to issue my own personal, deep, heartfelt gratitude to the Basilian Fathers for all they have done. May their work in higher education and in education generally continue and prosper.
Thank you, dear Fathers, thank you for the life you have given to me, my family, the Rochester community, and the greater world community too. May you have a very blessed and a very happy 200th birthday.
Hoy les deseo un feliz aniversario, un feliz 200 años. Dios los bendiga.
thank you, Father Bob. God bless you. And happy birthday, Basilian Fathers. May there be 200 more years. No, 400, 600. God bless everyone.